The truth about 12 hyped expensive niche fragrances. Buongiorno, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about 12 expensive niche fragrances. I already did the first impression on them and today is the follow-up, so a full review of every single scent. And as usual, I'm going from my least favorite fragrance to the top that I would definitely recommend. My first impression will be linked in the description as well as a playlist of the whole series. So if you loved this one, you can binge watch the rest. Let's start with the least favorite, and it is from Born to Stand Out, Sin and Pleasure. It's such a weird fragrance, very synthetic, has in the opening this very extremely piercing patchouli. On my skin I got the same experience, but for some reason in the mid dry down it just disappeared. I couldn't smell it, and then after 2 hours it started to shine for some reason on my skin and I could not get rid of the smell. So the longevity on this fragrance is great, but the smell is just too much, very piercing, medicinal, patchouli. I feel like the name is quite fitting because it has some carnal effect to it, which I also got from Vanilla Sex or somehow from Tom Ford. Anyway, this fragrance for me is a big no for how synthetic it is, for like the patchouli, everything. This is just a flop for me. Would not recommend this fragrance. Next we have from Gleam, Cherry Hook. This is a sister company of Gritty and it's quite a simple, easygoing cherry. Definitely I can get the similarities with Lost Cherry. It's not really like Lost Cherry. I read a comment on Fragrantica that really describes the best this fragrance, that this is a mix between Baccarat Rouge and Lost Cherry, and I would add, yes, it is a mix of these two fragrances but made more synthetic and more cheap. This is the perfect description of this fragrance. Is it okay? Yes, it's an okay scent, and Gleam is kind of the affordable side, let's say, but it's not the best cherry I have smelled. Moving to a big disappointment, because this was ranked quite high in my first impression because I really liked this fragrance, but now after testing it on my skin and waiting for the dry down, I'm not liking it. This is Sangria from LORENZO. The opening was an amazing, refreshing Sangria fragrance. So beautiful. And although these kind of fragrances are by nature synthetic, and I am not a fan of synthetic fragrances, but this one for some reason I really liked. However, in the dry down, it reminded me of why I don't like these kind of fragrances, because in the dry down you will get the base, and the base is overly synthetic, and what I loved about the fragrance was gone. So this beautiful, refreshing Sangria effect was gone. So that was a big disappointment for me. Good longevity, however. Next was a fragrance that was quite viral a couple of years ago, and it is Mango Skin. And I just don't get it, honestly. Like, this is an extremely synthetic mango fragrance. It's not bad. I'm not going to say that it is a bad fragrance. It's not. But I wouldn't go out of my way to pay that amount of money for the scent profile. Maybe at the time this fragrance was released, it was kind of, I wouldn't say revolutionary, but people, like, it was something different. But now with so many mango fragrances on the market, this just doesn't stand out and I would not recommend it. I have actually in this list another mango fragrance that I would recommend over this one. Next we have Tilia. Now I didn't know when I did my first impression that Tilia means linden blossom. I was expecting a tropical fragrance for some reason and I was surprised by the linden blossom. Anyway, so thank you my lovely subscriber who educated me on the name. Tilia, I just don't get the hype. Like, really, I don't get it. It is like a full representation of a linden blossom, but I don't like it. This is the mix of vetiver and broxen and linden blossom, and I'm not liking it at all. I don't get the hype behind this fragrance. I know it's quite loved. I'm so sorry, but I just don't understand it. The only thing that I can say is when it comes to Linden Blossom fragrance, I definitely recommend this one over Sol Salgado from Thomas Di Monaco. But still, I don't like this fragrance at all, and I don't get it. Sorry. Next we have the cheating fragrance. So I always include in my fragrances one that is not exactly niche, and I'm talking about Hermes. This is from their private collection, Cèdre Sambac. And I did not like this fragrance in my first impression, and I still don't like it in the opening. In the very dry down, and I mean very dry down, so like after an hour, this fragrance takes a turn all of a sudden, and I'm talking about my skin, and I am getting a little bit of a powderiness. This makes me think that there is like an iris in this fragrance. And then it becomes this creamy jasmine that is so beautiful, actually. I'm not going to lie, I really like it. So the dry down, 10 out of 10. But to get to the dry down, I have to pass through this nasty opening, which I don't like. So I would not recommend this fragrance. The opening is so bad for me that I just can't wear this fragrance and wait with that smell. Next we have Poet of Berlin. And this fragrance definitely, I know why it is hyped. That a lot with me when you watched my first impression. You should try it on your skin. It will become something totally different. And it's definitely true. This is quite a chameleon. The opening will give you a total different idea to how this fragrance dries too. And one of the fragrances that you should definitely test on your skin, not on paper. On paper, it's just green, grassy, off-putting, to be honest. And the same goes for the opening. Something happens to this fragrance in the dry down. It becomes warmer, the vanilla begins to shine, and it's this very elegant, chic vanilla. It's not too sweet. It has a sweetness, but it's not too sweet. And then you get a little bit of the green touch. So I would categorize this fragrance as part of the green vanillas in a way. Kind of. But from all the vanillas, and even green vanillas in the market, this just doesn't stand out for me. Like, it's beautiful. It's a dry down, not the opening, but I just don't find it worth it, to be honest. That hype, it's beautiful, but why should I go through the opening when I have a lot of very beautiful, also elegant green vanillas on the market? So yeah, I know a lot of people love this fragrance and maybe consider it like one of their best fragrances, but I'm sorry, for me it's not. I need to have a fragrance that works for me right from the start. I don't have the patience to wait for the dry down. Next we have Bois Imperial from Essential Parfums. It was quite a unisex experience on paper and as a first impression. But when I tested that fragrance on my skin and waited for the dry down and had the full experience of it, I changed my mind about it. It's a nice, clean, masculine fragrance. It's not unisex. Has kind of a soapiness to it. Of course, it's not a very natural smelling good, but I think it works beautifully here because it gives this soapy, clean aspect. It's not a syntheticness that I dislike, let's say. Great scent, but when I tested it, I feel like it's overhyped. Like, it's nice, especially that the price tag of Essential Parfum is quite affordable when it comes to niche fragrances. Actually, in general, affordable. So I am not minding it so much. So I will give it a thumb up for these reasons, but I think it's slightly overhyped, to be honest. Next we have from Buhoo Wet Cherry Liqueur. This is a fragrance that grew on me. Like, the first time I've tested, I was not impressed. Second time I liked it more, and third time I didn't fall in love with it, but I really, really like it. It definitely lives to its name. It's a liqueur cherry fragrance. It doesn't have your usual combination of almond and cherry, which I definitely appreciate. So it doesn't smell like all the others. I definitely applaud Buhoo for going on a different route when it comes to creating a cherry fragrance. I like how unique it smells, and it's quite addictive. It's one of these fragrances that you want to smell more of, but it's just a little bit too synthetic for me. But I would recommend it as a unique cherry fragrance. Next fragrance is definitely for gourmand lovers. This is Halwakis from Ojar, a Middle Eastern brand. And as you would expect with Middle Eastern fragrances, this is very long lasting and quite projecting. This is for those who love honey. It's a honey bomb, but it's not a sticky honey. It's an extremely sweet honey. It made me nauseous the first time I've smelled it or tested it. And it was quite, I would say, simple in a way. But wait for the dry down. And I mean the dry down like in the very, very, very dry down. So I'm talking about 3 hours. I'm starting to get this beautiful nutty note. It's a little bit powdery almost, and it's blended so well with the honey. I really liked it. And when I went on Fragrantica and looked up the notes, I understood what I was smelling. I guess this is the sesame note. So this fragrance has a sesame note that really, really makes it beautiful in the dry down. But in the beginning, you will not get it. You may get a hint of nuttiness, but not much. It's all about that honey here. So this is a fragrance that I would highly recommend for honey lovers. This is not for anyone. This is strictly a fragrance dedicated to those who appreciate honey, love sweet, and I mean very sweet fragrances. You will love Halwakis. Next, we have the mango fragrance that I've talked about. This is God of Fire from Humbert, Stefan Humbert Lucas. And I'm not a fan again of the opening of this fragrance. Like, I think this is the theme with this episode. A lot of fragrances that are in the opening a little bit not for me or off-putting. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. But I have to mention 2 problems with it. First of all, it's kind of a chameleon. Like, sometimes I tested this fragrance on skin, and in the base, like when it's very in the dry down, the base was so off-putting for me, and sometimes I really loved it. So this is kind of a fragrance that you have to test many times to see if it will work for you or not. The second thing is, even if we talk about the scent, which I for the majority of cases I love, my second problem with this fragrance is the price tag. I mean, it costs 215 euros for just a 50 ml. No, it doesn't deserve that amount of money, to be honest. So for me personally, this is not a fragrance that I would add to my collection. Now the winner is Tea Tonique from Miller Harris. Is that a beautiful tea scent? First of all, tea fragrances in general can go either too sharp or too masculine for me. This is just perfection. It has this beautiful blend between black and green tea, which I appreciate, because green tea on its own sometimes just smells a little bit sharp and a little bit too realistic in a way, if you know what I mean. It's also slightly musky, so the musk is not overpowering here, which also is the case with a lot of tea scents. So it's nice, refreshing, has a very healthy dose of bergamot, which pairs beautifully with tea. Especially bergamot just is essential for tea scents. And what I mostly love about this fragrance is how everything is balanced. The black tea, the green tea, the musk, the bergamot, everything is so harmoniously well balanced, well blended. I really, really like this one. This is definitely a win for me, and for me personally, the only win from this video. So if you see me a little bit not myself, partially because I'm sick, but also because this is one of the worst episodes I did from testing hyped niche fragrances. But we can't win every single time. So, and that was it. That was my review on 12 expensive and hyped niche fragrances. Please tell me in the comments down below what you think about these fragrances, which one is your favorite. I hope I did not offend anyone by disliking a fragrance that you love. Please continue loving your fragrances. This is my personal opinion. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and if you did, please give me a thumb up. That will help me a lot. And also consider subscribing to my channel if you didn't already, and hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Don't forget also to watch all my previous episodes from this series. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.